Hey, Masechah Sotah Daf Yitches, the Mishnah Aloha Vav. Zok the Mishnah Nid Misminchas Hachloi Kitcha Bekli He Harei Kacham Nachsef Tupade. So if the mincha of the site that becomes it becomes tamei before we put it in a kli sheretz, which would be mikadesh it, and then the guf would become kaddish. So tipadi. However, once it was ready kaddish bekli in a kli sheretz, you have to burn it because then the guf itself or the carbon becomes kaddish, and that you can't hide it. Right? So these are the following sites. If they bring a carbon and this happens, they bring the menach and this happens, they get burnt. She admits Vishabalo Adam she tame or Adam show up and say that she's tame mesh any shoyse. I don't want to drink. Vishabalo in the right slash goes. So if her husband doesn't want to force her to drink, Vishabalo bala b'derech. If they have relations, if the husband had relations with her on the way. So all these cases the mincha is nisrif. Obviously, talking about once it was ready, she was there and it was brought and put into klishas. The kohen mincha say nisraf is also. I want to see why that is later. If she's married to a kohen, then it always gets burnt. So the Gemara nim is mincha such a loikich bekli v'chulei tani nit meis mincha such a loikich bekli arei kachol menachas v'tipad. We're just quoting Mishnah. Meshikach bekli arei kachol menachas v'tisarif. By Meres Tmeani, Freit Gemara by Meres, I don't understand by Meres Tmeani, like a Chata Shemesu Ba'aleh, isn't that a case of like a Chata Shemesu Ba'aleh? A Chata Shemesu Ba'aleh, the Allah is Yelchu HaMois Yam HaMelech, right? We know if somebody is Mafresh Mois for a Karab Chatas and he dies, so what happens with that money? We take that money, we throw it into the Yam HaMelech, yet over here we're saying Paida it. Why are we saying Paida it over here? You shouldn't be able to paida it. Have the Gemara because Dami Lashon Tali, because we're saying that the mincha of an ishas of a saita is like an asham tali. The Gemara in asham tali, then if it's mishkitcha bekli, then even mikodesh bekli, you should be able to paida it. Amar Reb Masnia Dami Lashon shenishchat. It's actually diamond to an asham that was already shechted. The Tanin Tamam shenishchat noideloi hadan noideloi. And so let's say if it was shechted, so then it was Noidaloi that he either did or did not. Let's see, so he didn't do the Aveira. So if that's the case, but once it was shechted already, so then Yishafich v'abasi yetzel beis reifa. So once it's mekudesh nikli, it's as if it was already shechted. It's compared to Arshim Tal is already shechted, and if that's the case, then it is just like Bein Shem Tali, it's the Hadami Shafech Babasi Yisel Beis Esreifa. Over here also, you have to burn it. Fine. Tani, now we're going to go with the Girsa of the carbon Ada. Tani, and again we're quoting the Mishnah now. Nitmis Mechasal Shalei Kitcha Bekli Avrei Kachol Menachos V'Tifte. Misha Kitcha Bekli Avrei Kachol Menachos V'Tisarif. Kiddush HaKoyim Mitzvah Lispik Lakri V'Yad Shemeis Hu Shemeis. So let's say what happened was they were Mekadesh the Kaimitz, the Kain was Mekadesh the Kaimitz, and didn't have a chance to actually bring the Kaimitz, right, to be Makr the Kaimitz until either the husband died or the wife died. So you burn it. What happens, however, if Karva Kaimitz, let's say the Kain did manage to be Makriv to Makriv the Kaimitz, so once the kaimitz is we're makriv the kaimitz, that's like the dam, that's like me makriv the dam. Now it's chutta to be eaten. So if that case already, so then it's eaten. Shall a suffix, and now back in the Gemara, shall suffix bo mitchilasa, since the whole thing came as a suffix from the get-go. So therefore, Kipris feka v'holchala. So once makriv the kaimitz, so Kipris feka. So and like the carbonate brings out, it's not a kapara that she gets. It's just saying that the mincha did its job, and now you can bring the saita to actually drink the water and v'holchala. So then no problem, it could be eaten. How about the Gemara? Another case, Bolo Edom Sheitamei Benkach Menchas Asur. So let's say Edom show up like we saw in the Mishnah. Benkach Menchas Asur. So Freit Gemara, what does it mean? Mahu Benkach U Benkach. What does that mean? Doesn't mean Ben Shekamatz, Ben Shaloi Kamatz. Then it's of note either whether the kohen did the actual kamitza or he didn't do the kamitza, then Menchas Asura, or is it ben shehikte ben shaloi hikte? In other words, even had it been makter, which we previously said once it's makter, the carbon is mutter to be eaten. But over here we're saying if Adam show up and say that she's tameya, so then even if it's hikter, you burn it. So Rabbi Ila ben shekamatz ben shaloi kamatz kishaloi hiktir aval hiktir shirai mutarim hiktir again like we said that's like the dam, so that's matter the carbon to be eaten. So even if Adam show up afterwards and say tmeya, that doesn't matter. We can still eat it. Okay. Took the more time to eat the vakomits kavel atzma v'shiraim krevel atzman. I'm sorry. Whoops, I skipped a line. Taman tanin Reb Shimon Oimer minchas chayte shel koyanim nikmetzes. We do mitzvah komitz kar la'atzma v'ashrem krev la'atzma. That that the minchas, right? So we had mentioned this. There's actually machlokes Reb Shimon Rabbanon. So Reb Shimon says that the kohanim, it's different than the way a Yisrael would bring a carbon, right? In this case, the isha. So nikmetzes. So you do the kmitza, v'akoimitz karv la'atzmai, v'ashiraim kreven la'atzma, but they're not eaten. And the Rabbanan say that the whole thing is burned, so you don't do any kmitza, you just burn it. Ushneim, both the Chachamim and Reb Shimon B'Krei Chadash and Dash in the same pasuk. It says v'oisel l'koyin kemincha. It's v'oisel l'koyin kemincha. So Rabbanan Amar not already keminchas nidvas. So it's like the carbon nidava, the minchas nidava that the koyin brings. Ma minchas nidvasoi kreva b'kol. It's burnt. Avzu kreva b'kol. Reb Shimon Oimer harei asir se'efer shel koyin kasir se'efer shel Yisrael. The Asir Sefer Shel Kohen is like Asir Sefer Shel Yisrael because they compare Chiyuv to Chiyuv as opposed to Reb Shimon who compares the as opposed to the Chachamim who compare the Nedava to the Chiyuv, that comparing Mincha to Mincha, we're comparing Chiyuv to Chiyuv. So Shimon Amar Asir Sefer Shel Kohen Kasir Sefer Shel Yisrael. Ma Asir Sefer Shel Yisrael Nikmetzes Azu Nikmetzes as well. Ima Azu Nechel. So you would think, okay, if we're comparing it to Yisrael, that Asir Sefer Yisrael, so maybe Ima Azu Nechel Avzu Necheles. So the maybe the Kohen one from the Kohen is also eaten. Tamalayim Evachol Mechas Kohen Kol Tialois Yoch. So the pasuk says no, but she can't eat it. It's burnt. Or I should say, can't eat it. Not that it's burnt, according to Reb Shimon. And this will be Negeya on New Testament Aleph. For now the Gemara asks something else. Ilin Shirayim, according to Reb Shimon, obviously, Ilin Shirayim Misham Ma Heim Bon. What do they have a din of? Mishum Koimitz, or is it Mishum Shirayim? What's the difference? In time Mishum Koimitz at the din of Koimitz, and in us number Laila, you can't do them at night because you can't bring a carbon at night. Venos Lachamisa if the Baal dies. Venom Chashav Leihen, and also Nalaru, you can't be over on Pigel with them. In Tamishum Shiraim, however, so it's just leftovers from the carbon. So then Noisnim Belayla, because it's not a carbon, Noisnim Lachamisa too, because again, it's already carbon's already done. Well, how about Mashi Choshev Lahem? What about Pigel? What then? Because Reb Shimon, if you noticed, he says that it's Karv La'atzman. So what din does it have here? Is it completely like Shiraim or not? So Nishminu Hadov Reb Loz Reb Shimon Ohimer HaKoimitz Karv La'atzman v'Shiraim Espazrin Al Gabe Hadeshin. Right, so the komitz is karv la'atzma v'shiraim mispazin al gabe hadeshin. So now, if it's mispazer al gabe hadeshin, so that means that what? That we'll see in a minute. Rabbi Yochanan boy manon came imidash shalom malon on the top of the mizbeach. Reb Shimon. Reb Shimon says the same thing. So then what will be the difference between Reb Loz, Reb Shimon, and Reb Shimon? Elameni ninu l'deshin shalom alon, teneu ninu l'deshin shalom and it's brought on the bottom of this beach where the other leftovers are brought. Hadamra noisn belayla noisn lachamisa mechashav lein. There's no issue of pigul because carbon was already taken care of completely. Rabbi Yossi, Rabbi Yonah actually says no. Even if you hold that as a din of shirai, but since it wasn't huksha lachilas adam or vachilas mizbeach, you cannot have machshavas pigel on them. In other words, there is some element of kedusha here. So enochem doesn't have din of a carbon, but it's also not completely like shirai. Fine. Now, Reb Lazar, Reb Shimon, who does he go like? Is he going b'shitas aviv? Is he going like his father? Right? Or is he going like the Chachamim? Now, if you tell me in b'shitas aviv, yikrov l'malon. So I understand, one being in tablet vech. In b'shitas Chachamim, then la yikmetz, he shouldn't do a kmitza at all because the Chachamim hold that it's kolol. So, and with the Gemara, b'shitas aviv, who he's going Mishitas of Reb Shimon. I'm Arei Asir Sefer Shel Kohen Kasir Sefer Shel Yisrael. Ma Asir Sefer Shel Yisrael Nikmetzes Avzu Nikmetzes. Ima. And again, this is based off what Reb Shimon, right? Reb Shimon said earlier. So he's going, and we said he's going the shita of Reb Shimon. Ima Azu Nechel Avzu Nechel. Tamalim V'Chol Mechas Kohen Kol Tia Lo Yisei Achel. That Fine. V'tehei kolil. So I don't understand if that's the case, why don't we say the whole thing gets burnt up according to Rav Shimon? All right, so Gemara, because la'achila kashtia v'lo kashtia l'kol takta, that we will makish it only for we will makish it for that when we will makish it. Right, so that like the Carbonated points out, I'll just read from Carbonated, Vach Perusha, Hod Akshin Minchas Choivase, Lenedavis, Lenedav Toi, Heine Lenin Doloi Soichal, that you don't eat it. Right, so it's we're makish it lachila, in other words, that you don't eat it, but we don't say that you burn the whole thing. Right. So Amr Rabbi Yosi Ro Rebbe Daito Shur Rabbi Loza B'Reb Shimon in our Mishnah, where he says it's Nisraf V'Shona Ki Yitzabay. He ended up going Rabbi Loza B'Reb Shimon. Rabbi Abba Kohen Boy Kum Rabbi Yosi. So he asked Rabbi Yosi V'Lamali Rabbi Loza B'Reb Shimon, why are we saying the Rebbe? The Mishnah went like Loza B'Reb Shimon. I feel like Rabbi Shimon Aviv because he just says it gets burnt. So Amalei, there's a big difference because equal b'roshim mizbech, in sreifa b'roshim mizbech, the lashon of sreifa means that by default it goes on the bottom of mizbech. Because if we're going on top of mizbech, that would be a lashon of equal. Fine. Hey, Sev Reb Chanina Kum Reb Mana. I we have a brayso, so a ton of Reb Chanina brayso. So a polig lekarev kol leni yachayla bnei shutfasei shel isha leyach leni yachayla bnei shutfasei shel ish. Right. So if that's the right, if that's the case, so so we see over here, Ela koimitz karv latzman, shran krev latzman, like, and then this is the gears of the carbonated, it's missing over here. So in other words, we see Reb Chia going like Reb Loza Reb Shimon. I'm sorry, like Reb Shimon. Yet Rebbe the Mishnah went like Reb Shimon. So Reb Chia goes like Reb Loza Reb Shimon, and Rebbe goes like Reb Shimon. I don't understand. As I fragt, as I faked Reb Chanina. Amalei. So Reb Mana said to him, I understand, what's the problem? Rebbe ro daiter Reb Lazar Reb Shimon, Reb Chiruba ro daiter Reb Shimon Aviv. It's machlaikis. They held, Rebbe held like Reb Shimon Lazar, and Reb Chiruba holds like Reb Shimon. There's no issue in that.